If I go against a white belt who's my age, my weight, and I'm having a hard time against that guy, there is an issue with my jiu-jitsu that I have to fix as soon as possible. Guys, today I'm answering the question here from, his name is Anil, and he's from Stephen Nage in England. And his question is, he said that he's 57 years old, he's purple belt, and he has a really hard time tapping like lower belts, white belt and blue belts. And it's not unusual that sometimes the lower belts taps him. So he's telling me like, Bernardo, what's your advice here to stay motivated, to continue to train and remain safe from serious injury, but at the same time challenge myself physically and mentally to improve? And he also mentioned here that sometimes he feels bad because he feels like he's wasting people time when they train with him. I think just because like sometimes the lower belts ends up beating him. The first thing I'm gonna say here, Neil, you're 57 years old and you are on the mat. So you might have seen these quotes that I'm gonna say now, but there was a time there was a kind of like a like a quote going on via the internet. What's the hardest belt to get in jiu-jitsu? And the hardest belt to get, it is the white belt. Because most of the people, they never start jiu-jitsu. You know, like, so the fact that you're 57 years old and you are on the mat training jiu-jitsu, it should be a reason for you to be proud instead of like feeling like bad that you could be wasting someone's time. And please never feel that you're wasting someone's time, because I think jiu-jitsu is built exactly around that, around training with people who are better and worse than you, training with people who are more athletic and less athletic than you, people who are faster and slower, and etc, etc, etc. So in this case here, it sounds like most of the people you're training with are training with people who are older than him, which is you. So they should be definitely taking advantage of that as well, because they can go against a guy who is even younger than them, and the guy is really athletic and goes really hard against them. And I guess you can be that role that they can take more time and think about the moves and think about the techniques, which is a totally different role and has a ton of value, you know, like. And the other thing I would say is that if you're 57 years old and you are going against a guy who is, I'm going to make it up here, but 26 years old, white belt, who does jiu-jitsu for 7 months and it's really athletic, and I don't even know what's your weight, but do not feel it's your obligation to beat that guy, you know, like, because that guy already does jiu-jitsu for 8 months. He's 30 years younger than you, and you have no obligations to tap that guy, you know, like. You could feel a little bit like that if you were going against a guy who is 57 years old, your weight division, and white belt, and 6 months training, you know, like. So for example, in my case, I'm 230 pounds, I'm black belt in jiu-jitsu since 2008, and I'm 38 years old. If I go against a white belt who's my age, my weight, and I'm having a hard time against that guy, there is an issue with my jiu-jitsu that I have to fix as soon as possible. But if the guy is half of my age, very athletic, in my case I'm black belt, right? And I was professional, so I should be beating that white belt even though. But for example, let's just put in perspective here. If I train with a guy nowadays who is the purple belt or brown belt world champion, and he's extremely athletic, and I'm training twice a week, there's a chance I might lose to that guy. You know, like, that's the reality. Just because I'm not a professional athlete anymore, I don't train 2-3 times per day anymore. I train like 2 or 3 times per week. And that guy's training a lot more than I am. You know, like, that's the reality. I think ADCC is a good proof of that. Like, how many times you see on ADCCs blue and purple belts beating ADCC champions, you know, like, don't forget, like, Nick Rod was a blue belt like 3 years ago, or purple belt. You see that all the time, you know, like Big Dan, John Dan, his students, Luke Griffin, they were all like lower belts, and they were competing on ADCC and beating ADCC champions and things like that, you know, and it's the same age. So again, don't feel bad that you're 57 years old, you're purple belt, and you're not tapping those guys. And even if they tap you, this is still normal. And then talk about the other part of the question here, which is more like, what should you do to challenge yourself physically and mentally to improve, and what I'm gonna say here is that this is a challenge, because I totally understand that you want to go very hard and you want to kind of like hang yourself against these guys, but at the same time you don't want to get hurt, and you understand that you're 57 years old. So if they go for a submission, you feel it's lock, tap, so keep your ego very low. I think that's my first conclusion here. And also try to understand that you are doing jiu-jitsu because you want to do jiu-jitsu. It's not because you have to prove someone that you're great in jiu-jitsu. It's not because you have to prove yourself that you're great in jiu-jitsu. You are doing jiu-jitsu because you want to do jiu-jitsu, because you feel this is a good thing for your life, and then you want to do it. With that being said, don't feel you cannot lose, you cannot tap to a lower belt, to a younger guy, because you can, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I would say, like, try to accept that, and then from that acceptance, you try to start from the principle that it's okay to lose and keep your ego low, and try your best, go as hard as you can, but not to the point that you feel you're in the edge of getting hurt. Like, if you ever feel yourself you're getting in that edge, push the brake, calm down, one step backwards, and then you rethink, or you go harder after that. But I think that's my advices here, and I'm gonna end this video in the same way that I started, which is kind of like, be proud of yourself. You're 57 years old. I don't know how many 57-year-old people I know that they love drinking and they go to bars and they're not in a good shape, not in a good health. And you're the opposite. You're going to the gym, you're training to the gym, you're training jiu-jitsu, you're learning, you're keeping your mind busy, you're keeping your body healthy, instead of like going to a bar or something like that. So be proud of yourself, and keep training, keep challenge of yourself, but with some moderation. And I hope this video has helped you guys. And guys, whoever is watching this video, if you are in the Masters Division, which is like above 30 years old in Jiu-Jitsu, make sure to check my instructional videos. My best-selling series is the Jiu-Jitsu for old guys. And I have those videos about all type of subjects, like escapes, submission escapes, pressure passing, half guard, and etc. It's at bjjfanatics.com. So make sure to check that out. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And I hope to see you in the next video. Please help me out to grow my YouTube channel. Just click subscribe. And to watch more videos, just click under see more videos. I hope you enjoyed.
BJJfanatics.com. Use the promo code YouTubeFaria to get 10% off any instructional video. Improve your jiu-jitsu faster.